Please welcome to the stage Unveil founders Tom-Jacques Perret and Alexis Foucault, Salomon Global Head Creative Director Nick Parkinson, and Runway Chief Creative Officer Jamie Umferson.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for coming out and sticking around. I know it's a long day of great talks. I'm Jamie Umferson, the Chief Creative Officer of Runway, and I'm thrilled to be joined today by three of the brilliant creative minds behind Salomon's latest global brand film, which we will dive into to figure out how they brought this to life. It was a hybrid production, live action and AI. But before we do, a few introductions. So to my right here, we have Nick.
Hello.
As we mentioned before, Global Brand Creative Director at Salomon, formerly Nike, Converse, and Ben Sherman. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And then, of course, we have Alexis Foucault.
Hello.
Co-founder and co-director of Unveil, and of course, Tom-Jacques.
Hi.
For those who don't know, Unveil is a creative studio based in Paris, and they use technology to augment human creativity. They work with brands like Balenciaga, Dries Van Noten, Byredo, amongst many others, and of course, Salomon. So today, we're going to get into how they brought this film to life, what it means for the brand, what it means for production. But before we get into all that, I figure we can actually go ahead and watch the film right now.
You've been here before, where everything ends. It begins. And all is yet to be invented. No boundaries. No rules. Just trust. And how far it can take you. Every future is here. Somewhere within ourselves.
Stunning work. And the end line, shaping new futures. I feel like I want to start there. I kind of want to go back to the very beginning with the brief. Nick, what was Salomon setting out to do here with this film?
Well, it was exactly that. We have a new global brand point of view and narrative around shaping new futures. And we wanted to unleash that to the world through the Olympics in Milan as a global moment, but do it with a really special piece of content. So we worked with BBDO, formerly DDB, who are our advertising partners in Paris. And the brief was around celebrating shaping new futures as a brand promise from Salomon. Salomon is 80 years old. 1947 it was established, and it is celebrates its anniversary next year. So that's 80 years of history, 80 years of innovation. But we wanted to tell a story about the next 80 years. So that is endless creativity, bravery, trust, design, innovation, culture. So really it was a brand point of view shaping new futures that brings the whole brand together under an authentic narrative, really. Because obviously the brand means a lot to many people: ski, fashion, running, performance, culture. So there was this one beautiful moment where we can bring it all together, and that's where we wanted something really, really special and very authentic.
So obviously, heritage brand, big, authentic story to tell. You want to be future-facing. You're telling this story of innovation, which you've been telling for 80 years. You work with Unveil to bring this to life. Was AI always part of the story, or?
No, not really. It was the story was the story. But as we developed the positioning, and through my chief brand officer, Scott Mellin, was an amazing kind of architect of the Shaping New Futures narrative. And that came from Salomon always shaping the future of sport and culture for the last 80 years. And there was traditional treatments that BBDO brought to us, but the Unveil work was so fresh, embodied the passion of shaping new futures, literally, and was the added bonus of young French amazing wizards in creativity. And AI, yeah, you are. Yeah. He's got the trousers. And the idea of using AI for me was not. I'm biased. I love new tools and love new creativity wherever you find it. And AI for me is an amazing paintbrush. It's not a shortcut. It's part of the process. And that's where we wanted, if it was to be AI, it should be the center of the creative process, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you guys...
Yeah, you were talking about like the treatment.
Yeah.
I think for the first time in history, for directors like us, it's possible now to work on the treatment with like any creative barriers. And it's a totally new way of inventing movie. And it's why our treatment, I think, was like so special for you.
Yeah, I think also the AI is becoming, for us, some kind of storytelling medium in that campaign, meaning that because it's all about shaping new futures, we wanted to take that almost literally with the white page allegory, you know, which is something common to the history of creativity. And we wanted that our heroine that you just saw, she's just going through all these worlds and she's literally like shaping these worlds. Yeah. And AI was an enabler, I would say, a tool which was really close to the storytelling itself of the film.
Now, I'd love to kind of break apart the process because I think there's usually a conversation where AI is coming early in the process through ideation, pitching, selling, and then there's the execution part of the conversation, the production, post-production. But from what I understand, you utilize the tools throughout the entire process from ideation, concepting, treatment, through pre-production, production, post-production. Can you tell us a little bit more about those early stages of your treatment?
So even to sell the idea to Nick, all images in the treatment were already original artworks from Unveil. And I think it really helped Nick and the Salomon team to really project themselves in this film and how it will look like. And when you look at the storyboard and all the first scenes that we created before any live action shooting, and you look at the final piece, it's really close, right? And so we can now like sell ideas and visions and the client can really trust us also in this sense because a studio like us will be able to deliver what we promise because also it's when I show a treatment to Nick, like the assets are already final, almost final, you know? So then came the question of the humanity of this film. I think it was a big subject to us and we wanted the model to be real. I think it was a true strategic decision. I think that the synthetic humanity is still some kind of barrier for the audience. And for us, the perfect blend was to shoot the actual model and to do a hybrid production with the environment and the shape-shifting worlds that she was creating. But you're right, like AI has been in the process since the beginning. And sometimes it's even hard to stop because we were generating hundreds, thousands of images, a lot of research for every word, every material, every texture, every object has been a subject of attention and detail to us. And so, yeah, having constraints on ourselves was also a method that we found like in time, like just to say, okay, now we need to pause the creation and be only in a curation moment. And then it's just about your eye and your taste to navigate through this chaos of images that are in front of you.
Now, I think we actually have some behind-the-scenes footage that captures some of what you're talking about, this abundance of creative exploration that both enables you to put together things and also make some curatorial decisions.
Yeah. Sometimes it's always the client asking for a new round, but when we are working with AI, like it's even us who cannot stop ourselves creating a new round. Yeah. So yeah, the most difficult part is like to stop the final sequence to the final image.
Right. And you see also with this abundance of volume of content that we can create that then it's really easy for us and for the brain to extend these worlds into other applications, right? So the film now can definitely be extended through Prince's Other Worlds, Chapter 2, and it has this really distinctive signature, but it's not only about the tool, but about the vision that we had when we created the film. And I think also it was a bold move for Salomon, because to select like an art direction with this white background and this very almost collage approach, something done almost fully with AI was a really bold move for a brand of that scale, a campaign of that scale. So, yeah, thank you, Nick.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. And I think that's what was exciting about it is the asymmetric approach. You know, I'm used to working with directors, agencies, creative partners, and there's a process of like getting the right reference images, the correct way to tell the story. You got to tell the story twice, right? You got to tell it first to get it filled in and get it aligned, because we're not artists. But then you've got to sell it to the consumer and the audience. And the process was asymmetric. So the guys would come to me with what would traditionally be storyboards or reference tissue decks, and that just went out the window. It went straight to kind of final execution, which that's not a shortcut though, because the AI generative imagery is the art. It's not. It's not a tool to just make more. The tool is the AI, and that's what was really exciting about it, and it's atypical of the process.
Yeah, we think that the AI content creation, AI filmmaking should be really specific to the medium and be singular, and not trying to imitate another style.
Yeah.
So it's a medium which is really chaotic by nature. So instead of trying to fight like this randomness, at the studio we are fully embracing it and using it as a part of the process. So almost all of the scenes that you saw in this film were not planned in our head, but they just imposed to ourselves at some moment in the process, because this and this image came out, this and this idea came out. Then it's just our job to make the curation and to do the decision.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
letting go a little bit is really great for the process.
Yeah, at the end, the only tool that truly matters is the human eye for this curation phase you're talking about it, and there is this exercise we are doing with Unveil candidates who want to join us.
So when we hire someone at Unveil, we are not asking for any skill set or any technical abilities, but more to have a really good eye or taste, and we show them like this massive wall of images and videos, and we just make them talk about what they like, what they don't like, and it really reveals something about the person's taste, and just having a deep curiosity about things has been like the best personality trait, I believe, to be a good AI filmmaker.
That's the thing. You can't AI taste level. You can't AI reduction or edit. You need that's where there's a dance between the tool and the human, which
I think
is amazing.
It's so interesting. I get asked this question all the time from studios, agencies, brands. What skill set are we hiring for? And I think you've summed it up so well. It's not a skill set, it's a mindset. It's a curiosity that is often, I think, quite present in creative directors, designers, creatives by nature who are...
Curation, yeah.
Exactly. So I'm curious. I'm sure there's a lot of folks in the audience here who, are looking to deploy these tools in their pipelines, production pipelines. Was there anything that came out of the process that was surprising to you in terms of the production itself? Did it go longer? Did it go shorter? Did it kind of hit right on where you thought it would? Any surprises that you think others should know?
For me, I was protected a lot from the manufacturing process. So
You're welcome.
I know, cheers, lads. Appreciate that. I never looked under the hood, and I'm a very collaborative creative, so I don't need to be in there. But the magic was just, for me, it was the velocity of how we could get to solves more seamless than traditional media. Like, again, when we changed the architecture of a scene, literally changed the architecture to be more Corbusier than Ridley Scott.
We can.
I don't know how you do it. I don't need to know how you do it, but
No, but
it was so seamless, and that was a really. You still kept the buzz of the process. The tool didn't take away the buzz of creating it. Just sped it up.
Traditionally, you would give a note in post-production, what, a week, 2 weeks before you see something again? Now it was...
You can just get to it quicker, which means you got more time for the sculpture.
Right. And is that something you guys have found as well?
yeah, we are like AI native directors, not like ex-CGI directors or ex-traditional filmmaking directors. So we have our own way to direct movie, but the pace of the tools evolving is like so hard to follow that sometimes when we start working on a movie, we don't truly know how we are gonna to do it. Right. But we are inventing new way of working during every single project, basically. That's fascinating.
Oh, and sorry, but that's such a cool. That is the shaping your future's mindset. Is live off the land in the sense of creating, see where it takes you. And it was like you're building the plane, flying the plane, but it's super exciting, wasn't it?
So the process was almost mirroring the film itself.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I like to think of this fun bit of Runway lore. We first got introduced about 2.5 years ago. Unveil won Gen 48, which is our 48-hour film competition, with a really beautiful piece. And I just can't help but take a look back 2.5 years ago to the piece you created, to the piece that we're talking about today, and just the artistic evolution, the technological evolution, and also just the cultural evolution, where we're starting to see this approach to creativity and production work its way into commercial work, which is really very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it was a really beautiful story because everything started just the two of us, just guys making like a short film, as you said, in 48 hours. And when we saw that we were able to actually do filmmaking with these tools, it was really an empowering moment for us. Now the studio is not only 2 persons, but 10 people. And just the fact that we are not coming from the filmmaking industry at all, I think it's also an interesting message is that I think we will witness a new kind of creativity.
Yeah, new generation of directors, basically.
People who are not approaching the image and the filmmaking the same way than, I mean, for myself, I never hold any camera in my life. But now I'm directing short films and campaigns. So how does that look? You know, like that kind of creativity is so different, I feel, from the traditional process. And the fact that, yes, we also come back like to Runway and to this ecosystem is like a full loop, you know, like to take and to give. Again, I think it's a full circle. It's been a full circle for us.
So Nick, you obviously have spent many years with top brands producing big pieces of work. What's next for you in terms of how you approach production? Are you fully in? This is something that you think is going to change the way you work?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's not, but it's not. It's an embracing of a new paintbrush. Do you know what I mean? That's what's exciting about it. It was brave for us to commission this work, and because the Unveil is so good and we trusted their vision so much. Yeah, it took a lot of trust, but now the process is done and I've seen it and I'm like, this is just an amazing way to get to a result in a more seamless and creative fashion. And the aperture of diversity of what we can do is just mental. And it's exciting. I'm really excited about it. And it's, we need a chapter 2.
I think so.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you have the assets to start building out those.
We've got a few.
stories.
There's a lot in the fridge that we didn't use.
You have seen only 10% of this world.
Yeah.
And I hear this is kind of a sneak peek that we're getting here of behind the scenes. This is a really intimate look at how the work is put together. Thank you all so much for coming out.
Yeah, thanks.
Round of applause for Unveil. And thank you guys.
Yeah, cheers.
Thank you.